Guys, today we've got an extremely hyped Nike collaboration nobody expected. Lil Yachty is finally getting his own sneaker, and we've got an update on those new Travis Scott Jordans. Before we hop into the release recap, I do want to give a shout out to Nick Becker for destroying my name in last week's episode when I said, let's name this series. Nick gave the name Kicks Off Sundays, which you guys seem to absolutely love. That's why it destroyed my name, Sneaky Sundays, which is what I came up with. So that just might be the new name, but let me know down in the comment section. I'll have a read through. Either way, this week we had 3 Jordan 1 releases, starting with the Jordan 1 Low University Red. These, I believe, are still sitting, so if you want to pick them up, you shouldn't have any issues. Same thing goes for the Jordan 1 High Mauve. They're still available, you can go and pick them up. But it absolutely does not go for the Travis Scott Jordan 1 Low Golf. And as we probably should have anticipated, this release came with a lot more drama. For starters, the only places that actually released them was the Nike sneakers app and other golf retailers. There was even one golf retailer, Trendy Golf here in the UK, who basically said in order to win this pair of shoes, you had to line up and you also had to hit a golf ball 200 yards. Either way, I thought that this method of releasing the pair of shoes was pretty cool. It seemed like a pretty fun thing, but at the same time, this pair of shoes seems to have the same stigma that a lot of Nike SB Dunks get, where people say you're not a golfer, you can't wear this pair of shoes. SB Dunks, that became a thing where people were like, you don't skate, you shouldn't be wearing SB Dunks. And then the counter argument to all of this is, well, you shouldn't be wearing Jordans at all if you don't play basketball. So it kind of seems like a never-ending loop. I feel like, honestly, anybody who wants to wear any of these shoes can completely do that. I mean, for starters, we've got a rapper collaborating with a basketball shoe, just now labeling it golf and adding exaggerated traction patterns. So who are we really fooling here? This pair of shoes on the Nike sneakers app and the very few raffles that actually held it, it was already extremely hard to get. But then, of course, we had to get the whole backdooring thing. Another week, another pair of shoes that seems to have been backdoor, basically saying that the Travis Scott team gave all the pairs to influencers during the raffle and asked them to post their W's. He goes on to say no hate to those influencers, but there being pretty much no public W's from the raffle, Travis Scott's team forgot there is an entire sneaker community that can see through the BS. Backdoor all you want, but don't announce something is for everyone when it actually isn't. So this is obviously talking about the Travis Scott website release, where allegedly all of these pairs got backdoored, or at least a majority of them. We see so many freaking sneaker releases getting backdoored, and it's honestly just tiring at this point. I always feel like after we take the time out to enter for these raffles or make sure that we're all prepared and we're following the news cycles and getting ready for the release of the sneaker, we enter, then we take that L, and then we find out that all of the pairs are being backdoored. It just makes us feel like a little bit of an idiot. It's just something that keeps happening and there doesn't really seem to be any change. Either way, if you did manage to get a pair of these things, count yourself extremely lucky, because they are reselling for something ridiculous, and honestly, it's a good looking pair of shoes. Either way, let's kick off this upcoming news with a little bit of a debunking. So take a look at this story over here. Debunked: the Nike Air Foamposite 1 Galaxy will not return in 2024. This was actually a pretty big surprise to me, because I've heard so many people talking about the release of these things coming through next year. A lot of people were excited about it because it is such an iconic colorway of the Foamposite. However, according to Nike sources close to Soul Retriever, it's now been confirmed that the Galaxy Foamposites have no plans for a re-release in either spring or summer 2024. However, the Eggplant Foamposites apparently are still lined up to drop 2024, so we'll have to see if this also gets debunked. This Nike SB Dunk Low collaboration is going to be extremely hyped. Take a look at this title. We're getting a Futura Nike SB Dunk Low next year. It's crazy because this news just randomly broke and we already have an actual image of this pair of shoes, and they're looking really good. So this is them right over here. You can see you've got the FL branding on the back of the heel. These are going to be dropping in 2024. We've got no idea exactly when, but this is literally the first image, the first news of this story. Futura and Nike have a rich history of collaborations, and obviously them being damn near impossible to get your hands on. The most recent one was obviously the collaboration on the Off-White Dunks. Those sneakers only made it to auctions and sold for thousands. Like, those things are untouchable. However, Futura himself chimed in on this leaked image and basically said codename general release. General release as in it's not going to go to auction and sell for a ridiculous amount of money. Either way, as soon as we get any more information, any more images of this pair of shoes, you know I'll update you. Speaking of 2024 releases, we just got our first looks at the upcoming Supreme Nike SB collaboration. Except it's not a pair of dunks, it's a Darwin collection. This collab is supposed to be coming spring 2024, just like the last one. And here is the first image of this pair of shoes. You can see all over canvas upper. Apparently this collaboration is supposed to come in 4 different colorways. We've got the sail one, which is what we're looking at over here. We're also going to be getting black, khaki, and Volt. Adidas just officially announced their partnership with Edison Chen, the founder of CLOT. As we know, CLOT and Nike have been collaborating for the longest time now, and they've just split up, and CLOT just went over to Adidas. We've got this pair of shell toes over here looking extra wild, and it seems like they've given him a little bit of extra creative freedom. We got this Adidas, which looks like a Samba. It could also be like a gazelle or something, but it looks like a freaking wicker basket. We got this silhouette over here, again with a jagged outsole. I actually think that this pair looks pretty cool. That could be a nice look on foot. This pair of freaking superstars looking like a goddamn dress shoe. Damn, another pair of dress shoes. That is so bizarre to look at. Another 2024 story, we've got a Girls Don't Cry Nike SB Dunk Low coming next year. Now, this is literally just the only rumor that we have. We don't have any images or anything like that. So yeah, definitely take this with a grain of salt, because we've seen so many rumors like this where they just come up with a rumor like the Eminem Carhartt Nike SB Dunks, and that never ended up happening. So yeah, as soon as we get any more concrete first images or anything like that, I'll let you guys know. The Nike Lebron 2 Beast PE is going to be releasing for the first time ever this year. Funny story, one of my first ever sneakers was a pair of like cheetah print Lebrons, which were super wild. Not as wild as this, but I freaking loved those things. Definitely don't think it's quite a style I would rock nowadays, but yeah, there's definitely some Lebron cheetah print that holds a little place in my heart. We're not entirely sure at what month, when this year, but we can only expect, I mean, there's only so many months left. Now, this is one that I actually liked the look of and thought was pretty interesting. Take a look at this. Nike to debut the all-new Air Max Plus Drift in 2024. Now, I feel like I've heard rumors of this, but apparently this is the first image that we have of this pair of shoes. We've actually got a couple different colorways. This Volt green pair. We've also got this one over here, which almost looks like a freaking drawing, and then this one as well. Now, from the look of this pair of shoes, it reminds me a lot of a Yeezy 700 V3 with that kind of, I don't know, foam or rubber material that's on top, kind of acting like a cage. This is going to be a brand new model, and it's set to drop summer 2024 for a retail price of $185, so not necessarily cheap. All right, jumping into some sneaker releases that are just around the corner, let's kick this off with the Air Jordan 12 Cherry, which is dropping on October the 28th. Now, if I'm not mistaken, you guys out in the US had a little shock drop of these things. If that's correct, let me know, and if you managed to get a pair, let me know as well. Either way, just wanted to remind you of the release date, because this is a highly anticipated sneaker for this year. I mean, the last retro was back in 2009, so it's got people itching to get another pair of Cherry 12s in. Brand new Stone Island New Balance 991 V2 is going to be dropping on the 18th of October. Now, they had a small release on Stone Island's website, which apparently was a complete disaster and completely botted. So now the general release on New Balance's website, along with other different retailer raffles, is going to be taking place on October the 18th. It's a solid colorway. However, the retail price is freaking $270. The Jound New Balance 2002 R Storm Blue colorway is going to be dropping on October the 26th. It's a little bit less interesting to me than the Stone Island one, just because, I mean, well, this pretty much just looks like an average pair of 2002 Rs that you could find on New Balance's website. But if there's a pair of sneakers that you haven't tried out yet, I highly recommend the New Balance Warped Runner. This is the new marine blue colorway, the second one of this brand new model. These are going to be dropping on October the 18th. We've got our first looks at the upcoming Kith New Balance 1906R, and when I first saw this logo, I was like, yo, let's go. What is this gonna look like? But unfortunately, it looks like these. Now, hey, you may really like this one. I don't mind it, but I was just hoping for something a little bit cooler. We also have no idea when these are gonna drop. There is no release date, so as soon as we get any more information, I'll let you guys know. What's turning out to be one of the most hyped Nike collaborations this year is bizarrely the CPFM Flea 2. But to be honest, I do also want to get my hands on this pair of shoes. I think it's extremely interesting looking, and it's kind of cool to see something that we really haven't actually seen yet. We've got these official images now, so we've got two different colorways that they'll be dropping. A mismatch pair called the Faded Spruce, that's kind of like a bluish and then a greenish color, and then my personal favorite, which is the Black Alabaster pair, just the all over black colorway. Look at some of the things that you get inside this box. You've got a glow-in-the-dark outsole, which I thought was pretty cool and kind of like a footprint. And then you've got the signature heat map insoles. You've got a nice, really cool looking dust bag with heavy embroidery on it. Of course, you've got your added little things that you can stick to the pair of shoes. And then you also get a pretty cool looking box. I would expect it probably in November or potentially December. Alright, Lil Yachty may finally have his own Nike collaboration, something that he's been talking about for the longest time. He's always wanted to get his own sneaker from Nike. So basically he kind of hinted at this collaboration when he was on the latest episode of Shopping with Cool Kicks. Oh yeah, I just did an Air Force One, basically hinting at that's going to be his collaboration. Now at the time when he said this, he was holding the Utopia Air Force One, so hopefully his collaboration isn't like that with just literally a screen printed branding on it. As of right now, this is the only hint that we have of this, so if we get any more information, I'll let you guys know. We got a freshly leaked pair of Valentines Dunks, a mix of like a very heavy suede but also satin material for the toe box and the tongue. So here's some more detailed images of this pair of shoes. I mean, it doesn't look that crazy, like there's nothing too much going on. It's pretty much just an all-over sale pair of Dunks. So these should be dropping obviously before Valentine's Day, which is going to be February 14th, 2024. Alright, so we just got our first looks at a brand new upcoming pair of Jordan 1s. Take a look at these things. The Air Jordan 1 black and white, or what they're probably going to get nicknamed the Reverse Panda. So these are actually not too bad. They're not amazing. It's nothing I would break my neck over. It's like, hey, if I could pick these things up on sale, I certainly would, but this is not a pair of shoes that I'm going to be over the moon about. Now, we apparently already have a release date for these things, February the 24th, 2024. It'll be very interesting to see what happens to the Jordan 1 in 2024. As we know, 2023 has probably been the biggest decline in terms of interest and hype. With that being said, we've had some of the best Jordan 1 colorways, so it's been phenomenal for anybody who's a fan, because I've picked up some of my favorite Jordan 1 colorways this year for a steal. Nike just made another world-breaking sneaker. Well, the person who was wearing them broke a world record, but the sneakers are obviously getting a lot of hype behind them. This is the Nike Alpha Fly 3. History was made over the weekend as Kenya's Kelvin Kiptum broke the world marathon record in Chicago with a time of 2 hours flat in 35 seconds. This pair of shoes does look very, very interesting. It's a completely different shape. It's kind of like a thin midsole which kind of gets wider at the top. These are going to be dropping at some point 2024. All right, let's talk about Travis Scott and his brand new Jordan. So as we know, or at least what we should expect, is no more regular Jordan 1s. Cactus Jack is going to be moving on with his own sneaker, which for the longest time we thought was going to be called Cut the Check. However, now it's actually going to be called the Jumpman Jack. When I first heard that, I was like, oh god, Jumpman Jack? Like Jumping Jack? But I don't know, I guess it's kind of a better name than Cut the Check, which I always thought was a little bit jarring. It just seems like too many words. So as of right now, we've seen a decent amount of colorways of this pair of shoes. Like Travis Scott has been wearing them non-stop. What seems to be like the most hyped colorway, which is the reverse mocha pair, all over sale brown. Also got this black and white pair, which Travis Scott was wearing in the gym. Kind of like a reverse mocha. It's got the mocha elements, but it's also a completely different material. That one was very interesting. And then of course we have the olive. But yeah, basically the release schedule for these things is there's going to be at least 1 or 2 pairs that drop this holiday season. I expect we get a lot more information on this very, very soon. Now we also debuted a brand new colorway of the Jumpman Jack sneaker. This pair over here, which kind of looks like a sail color with some blue or teal, and they're looking cool. This is a cool looking pair of shoes, and I'm honestly quite excited for these things to release. I think it's very cool that Travis Scott is getting his own sneaker. I think it's definitely time. It's going to be really interesting to see what he can do and how much hype can be generated with his own silhouette. Either way, guys, as soon as we get any more information on this brand new Jumpman Jack Travis Scott sneaker, I will let you guys know. We've got some more images of the upcoming Jordan 4 Bred Reimagined. These things, again, just to remind you, are dropping February 2024. People are actually definitely warming up to these things. I remember when they first got announced that they were going to be made in leather instead of nubuck. People were like, oh my god, what the hell are you doing? But now I think people are like, you know what, actually, I kind of liked it. I'm pretty excited for them. I don't know if I will prefer them. We'll have to wait and see. We got some much better images of the upcoming Jordan 3 crops. We spoke about these last week. I believe we got the first images. Well, now we've got some much clearer ones. So these are going to be apparently dropping in March of 2024. I liked the craft theme on the 4s, and I like what they're doing with the 3s. In fact, I might even prefer the 3s. They added a little bit of suede over here, which is a little bit different. They also added another layer of suede around the elephant print, which is pretty interesting. Basically, the Nike branding on the back, but you also have the Jumpman on the plastic material. Final story for today is a big one, guys. This is the head honcho. We just met the freaking final boss of sneaker reselling. 2 suspects charged in the $1 million sneaker theft ring. I made a video about this yesterday talking about all of it, and it just made me realize, like, damn, this is absolutely crazy. So if you guys didn't know, this story has been going on for a very, very long time. We've seen a bunch of different thefts in Nike's supply chain, where the Nike Memphis facility was robbed, $800,000 of sneakers went missing. That's when they stole all of like the Midnight Navy 4s, the Cherry 11. This year, there's been even more stories. $200,000 of sneakers were stolen from Nike, $400,000. There's a bunch of these cases. What this story is basically the main warehouse. And they would rob one of these trailers and they'd take all of these shoes. This is the place that they would ship all of these sneakers to. So the police found this warehouse and also some of the people that were involved in this. You can see they're offloading all of these sneakers from a trailer. Also got Yeezys, they've got Supreme products, they've got like high-end clothing and stuff like that, which I believe this warehouse is in Austin in Texas. Basically, they would repackage it and then they would go and sell these pairs of shoes for 100% profit, obviously, because it's stolen. Crazy thing is that these people know exactly what they're taking. They're taking shoes that they know they can resell. It's almost like the suspects, the people that are getting charged with this, were like once sneaker resellers, and then they were like, you know what, I'm tired of getting, you know, 20-30 bucks for a pair of shoes. How about we just get 100% profit? And then it just kind of escalated from there. This story is pretty massive because it's been going on for such a long time and at such insane volumes. Like, people were even speculating that it has some kind of inside job to it because it's just so unbelievable that these people know exactly where this product is going to be. They're going to be returned, so maybe we might see some restocks of these stolen products from Nike. Definitely check out my YouTube short video on this if you just want a 50-second rundown with all of the details. That's a pretty fun watch. And thank you for joining me on this episode of Kicks Off Sundays. I don't know if I'm getting used to them. I might have a ring to it. I'm just warming up to it. Or Sneaky Sundays. Let me know down in the comments. Either way, guys, if you want to check out the top 10 Jordan 1s of 2023, that video's over there.